morning. I just wanted to get on and talk a little bit about adding color to your clay face that you made. A lot of you haven't made yours yet, which I'm assuming you're working hard on them right now because they are due today, Wednesday. But after you bake the face, you have to let it get hard. So if you listen, before you can do any kind of like paint treatment on it. So mine, I ended up having to bake for like almost 3 hours on, I think it was 250 or 300 I said. So if yours is not getting like to where it sounds like that, if you knock on it, then you need to put it back in the oven. And you can like take it out, let it cool, be like, it's not good enough, put it back in, that's fine. So I know everybody just probably has very different materials at home. So I wanted to give you a few options on what you could use to add color to this. Like, so you can see like this is just the color that I added to the actual clay. And some of you did that. I noticed when you made your clay that some of you did use food coloring to color the actual clay, and that's great. But you can add more on top of this to give it a little bit more dimension. So I just wanted to go over some things that would work, okay? You can make watercolor paint with a bunch of different things. You can make watercolor with food coloring, and that gives you a bunch of different options on like what colors you want to use. You could also make watercolor with coffee. So if your mask needs a little bit of dimension, coffee coming in like and adding like just doing kind of like a wash over and letting it fall into kind of the crevices is going to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, so coffee you can use, food coloring you can use, any kind of like, you can use tea, anything that like has a color to it. You can even use fruit juice or anything like that. And then, of course, if you have art materials at your house, if you have actual watercolor paint, you can use that. If you have acrylic paint, you can use that. So any kind of paint, if you actually do have that in your house, even if it's craft paint or wall paint or whatever it might be, you can use it on top of your mask. And now I'm going to leave it up to you creatively what you want to do with it. Like if you want to do an all over color, if you want to do that wash of like coffee to add dimension, darkness to some of the areas, you can do that. If you want to, I think it might be a little creepy if you like painted in eyes, nose, and mouth, like pink lips, different colored eyes, color the hair. It might end up a little bit borderline creepy, but you could try it. But I think it might be interesting like to do abstract colors or like half one color, half another color. But I am going to leave that creatively up to you how you want to add color to this. What we would have done in class is add what's called a patina to our clay. Of course, it's a different kind of clay, so the technique really won't work on this, but what you could use is a mixture of green and brown, and just do like washes of green, washes of brown, washes of green, washes of brown, until it gets like sort of like a metallic look to it, like aged metal, sort of like Statue of Liberty, or if you were looking at like a bronze sculpture or something like that, okay? Of course, you're limited to whatever you have in your house to be able to do this, so just all I'm asking is that you be creative. So make sure that you, of course, have baked your clay in the oven. Mine, like I said, took almost 3 hours at 250 degrees to get to this hardness, and you want it to have like that firmness. You don't want it to still be squishy, okay? So if yours is still squishy, pop it back in that oven, and then once it's cool and dry, you can do some sort of paint treatment on it and submit it for this assignment, okay? And that'll be the end of this, and then we are going to continue to work with this. It's called salt dough. We are going to continue to work with salt dough for however long we are at home, okay? So if you are like, I know we're doing like grocery delivery or we're running to the store, carefully of course, but if you are able and you're running low on the materials that you need for this, I would ask your parents if it's okay for you to add flour and salt to the grocery list. Two relatively inexpensive materials. You can usually get a big package of each. in order to, you know, for like a pretty inexpensive price, and you'll be able to like use that for the rest of whatever amount of time we'll be doing this. I do have, when I did my last grocery order, I bought a whole lot of salt. I've sourced flour for my whole family. So if you need materials, and I mean this, if you need materials and you do not have what you need, or you're running out and you're unable to purchase it, I will deliver the materials to you, okay? I will measure you flour, I measure you salt so that you could make this, okay? Because I want you to be able to do your assignments, okay? So again, if you do not have the materials, you run out of the materials and you can't get them, if you're having any kind of issue with the flour and the salt dough, I will provide you materials just like I would at school, okay? Except I will be providing them from my own pantry. So please know that I'm here to support you if you don't have those materials, okay? As far as the color treatment for this assignment, just use whatever you have. Be creative, and I'm sure it will turn out awesome, okay? I can't wait to see what you guys make. I hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.